Okay, so now we know different data types in the Python. It is time that we learn typecasting. So what is typecasting? Typecasting is basically nothing but changing the type of data type of any variable, right? So there are two type of this typecasting. First is implicit typecasting, and the second one is explicit. So implicit is basically automatically done by our Python interpreter, and explicit is something that we do by ourselves. So first let's see the example of implicit typecasting. So let's create two variables here. I just create 12 here, and then y is something like 14.23. And if I just add here something like this, and if I see, let me show you one more thing here. Print type, we want to see the type of the output as well. So if I run this program, so here as you can see, the output is a float number with the type of the float. So what happened here is we have one variable with this data type of integer and one variable with data type of float. So float is basically the larger data type. It do not only cover, practically speaking, it's do not just cover this whole number, but also number with something like this, that's basically float number with decimal places. So here if we add two numbers, so it automatically convert, because the result is the float, right? So it automatically converts the this value, the resulting variable, right, into the float. So that's basically implicit type conversion, because that's a practical solution here. In this case, evaluate these two variables and the solution is converted to the float, right? So that's implicit type conversion. Now let's talk about the second one, the explicit type conversion. So how we're gonna do that? Let's say if I create another variable, let's just recreate the same variable, x is equal to 12 here, and I want to convert this this variable to the float. So what I'm going to do here, this float, and inside that, as you can see here, convertible to float, we can use this method float, and inside if I put this variable, now I can convert this variable x into the float. And if I just print this new variable and the type of this variable, right? So let's, if I run this, as you can see here, this value 12, which is integer and assigned to the x, now we are assigning this converted value to the y, and it is 12.0, so we are converting to the float here, right? So that is explicit type conversion. We can do something like this as well, the reverse thing. Now its x is a float data type, like as you can see here, if you just hover over it, variable x is a float data type, and if I want to convert it to the integer, right? So if I do something like this with this int method, and if you hover over it, convertible to integer, we can convert this x to integer. Now if I just, and if you see here, now it is 12, it is converted to the integer. See the type of integer, but the problem in this case is that because integer only supports the whole number, so when you convert something from float to integer, it ignores the decimal value. It just take this whole number, right? So if I change this value to something like this, 79.999, and if I run it again, and as you can see here, it's just consider this whole number, because integer only supports the whole number, so it ignores this decimal places, right? We can also do something like this. Let's say if I have this variable with string, let's say I have string. This is basically, even though it's number, but inside double quote, as we have seen in the string data type, it's a string. And let's just in fact see here, I know that most of you might already aware of this thing, but still let's just do this additional step. And now what I'm doing here, I'm first, this is the x variable, and as you can see here, it's a string literal, right? Literal 79, it's a string. I'm going to print the data type here, and here at this state I'm going to convert this x into the integer and assigning to this new variable y, and I'm going to print this new variable and the type of variable. So if we just print here, so it was basically here, it's string, then we convert here to integer, and now the 79 is an integer. So this, we just did this type casting from string to integer. But what if I have something like this? Now is it possible? So we got an error, invalid literal for integer. So because integer only supports this number, so if we have this, when we have this only 79, it can easily convert this string, this character, into the integer, because 79 is a numeric character, right? So it can be easily done with conversion. But if we add this alphabetic character, it is not possible practically to convert to integer, right? Same way, if we have something like this, let's see if we can convert this to the float here. Let's just first run without this. Now we are converting it to the float. Now okay, so that's basically this numeric string literals characters, but now we just convert it with the float, and as we see here, it is float number with this decimal and this float data type. Okay, so what if we do same thing with here as well? So now we error like we were getting when we try to convert this to integer with this alphabetic characters, could not convert the string to the float here, because we have this, as we have already discussed, that because we have this character. So this is basically this typecasting. Let me show you reverse thing as well. If we have now integer, we can also convert to the string as well, reverse of what we have seen with this str. And if you just hover over it, it is convert to a string. And let's just first clear this, and let's run it. So now it was an integer here, as you can see, but then we will just convert it to the string. So this is the value, and the last thing, the type of the the conversion here is the string. So that's basically typecasting. It's not that difficult. There are two type of typecasting: implicit and explicit. Implicit is done by the Python itself interpreter, and the explicit that we can do by ourselves. We can convert integer to floats, floats to integers, and also string to integer and float, and from integer to integer and float to string. So that's it for the typecasting. Thank you for watching.